Welcome to the Emerging Lawyer at the Coffee Conversation Show, powered by the Emerging India Forum (TEIF) and our tech partner, Prime Infotech Solution. This is an international coffee episode. We have with us Adithya Reddy, Senior Associate Tax at PwC in the Cayman Islands. He brings a wealth of knowledge and global experience in international tax advisory, planning, and compliance. With an LLM in international taxation from the University of Florida and a history of working with prestigious firms like Ernst& Young in New York, Aditya has mastered the intricacies of international tax law, US taxation, tax policies across the globe. Beyond his corporate roles, he contributes as a speaker, columnist, and an advisor, showcasing his dedication to fostering dialogue in the evolving landscape of international tax law. So that's very interesting. So welcome, Aditya, to today's coffee conversation.
First of all, thank you so much for the warm introduction. I think those were really amazing words from your end, and it's a pleasure to meet you actually.
Yeah. So friends, he has come down for his holidays, and he was supposed to be in Hyderabad, but it's very interesting. We're having in-person coffee show. Otherwise, it would be on Zoom. So at coffee conversation, we have in-person and Zoom sessions, and we have gone also international. So we are at AWFIS co-working space, and today it's Saturday afternoon, month of Christmas. So Aditya, give our regards to your family in Hyderabad, and I am also from my hometown, Hyderabad and Warangal. So let's begin our conversation. So friends, my introduction. I'm Lion Amir Virani, host at Coffee Conversation and a legal tech evangelist at Prime Infotech Solution, author of 15 books, and we help law firms, corporate legal, startups, and companies become profitable with world-class technology, software products, and tech training. So, Aditya, I want to explain you the format. You must be aware of the 2 rounds.
Yeah.
So, there is a surprise rapid fire round. So, for that, you have to be witty, funny, and quick. So, you will get your Christmas gift.
I think I'm really looking forward to that.
Okay. So, this is an autograph, and this will be your gift. Okay. So, Aditya, what got you into international taxation, and how has the journey been till date?
I think international taxation it is a long story. Uh, so when I went to law school, I was deciding what next. Like every other law student, the idea was to probably go to the courts, become a litigation lawyer, and that is almost what I ended up doing. But when I was in law school, I ended up participating in a moot court competition, which was focusing on international tax. I think that is where my interest in international taxation grew. And I worked in a couple of places, internships at a couple of law firms. And I started my journey with the Ministry of Finance, working in international tax space. And from there on, I pursued my LLM in international taxation from the University of Florida, and I worked with Ernst& Young in New York, and currently I am working at PricewaterhouseCoopers in Cayman Islands. So I think that can be like a brief overview of my journey.
Okay. So now let's start your journey from PwC and we'll go down. What are the most exciting aspects of working in international taxation at PwC, and what has been your memorable in 2024?
That's a great question, honestly speaking. So international taxation is a very unique area of taxation in the fact that we have direct taxes, we have indirect taxes, but international tax is, to put it simply, where the taxation is involved between different countries and based on taxation of residence or based on taxation of source. And so when you have different countries with different tax laws, and when there are companies in, let's say, country A, there are companies in country B, there are different tax laws which intermingle with each other. So that creates a lot of problems, that creates a lot of conundrums in a lot of situations, due to which I would say a lot of people like us, tax lawyers, tax accountants, we get a lot of work. And currently, like for example, at PwC, I primarily focus on international partnership tax compliance of US multinationals, specifically hedge funds, private equity funds. And the main interesting point about working in this space is that as a lawyer, I get to work on, which is actually quite unique and interesting, is that I work on tax compliance and tax accounting. So that is a very interesting area, and I would definitely love to explore more on that in the
Wow.
upcoming questions
Okay.
as well.
So let's continue the conversation, friends. So, Aditya, what unique challenges do you face while specializing in tasks related to international partnership tax compliance of K1S and 1065 for global clients?
Thank you. That's a very interesting question. So, to put it simply, so whenever there is a partnership, the US partnerships especially, the partnerships are not taxable entities. And because they are not taxable entities, the government, the Internal Revenue Service, which is kind of similar to the income tax department in India, they have to get the taxes in some way. So what happens is that the investors or the partners in this particular situation, they are taxed, and they have to submit something called a Schedule K1, which they submit to the IRS, which they file with the IRS. And so the income from the Schedule K1s flows onto the Form 1065s, which is the US return for partnership income. So this is how the investors actually end up paying tax to the IRS, and the partnership reports the taxable income to the IRS as well.
Wow. Okay. How does a day look for you at PwC?
Uh, so PwC has been a great experience so far. I have been working there for the last 1.5 years, and I think it is a very unique set of circumstances. As a lawyer, for me, I get to work on complex international tax and partnership tax, focusing on US clients. I would say this is different from other firms in the sense that as a lawyer, I get to work on accounting concepts. And I feel like I'm kind of privileged in that sense because not all lawyers get to work on law as well as accounting issues as well.
Yeah, we're very fortunate कि lot I've done conversations with a couple of tax lawyers who are CAs dealing with numbers and doing अपना agreements drafting, litigation. So this is another interesting side कि भाई so from a CA they have gone to the legal side, balancing both the sides and advising clients on how to save taxes, on making agreements and serving. So they are balancing both sides of their passions. So this is very interesting. Okay, you're playing dual role.
Absolutely. I think I would just say that I'm really privileged in this aspect because a lot of people on one side, like the accountants, do not get to really like experience the drafting side or the legal side of tax, and a lot of people on the lawyer side do not get to experience the accounting side. So I consider myself privileged that I'm getting to experience both of them.
Yeah. So now, Aditya, how has your involvement with organizations like the ABA tax section and the International Fiscal Association impacted your professional growth, and what are the activities over at these organizations?
So I have been involved with the American Bar Association tax section for the last 2 years, and I think it was sometime in 2023 when I was selected to be the general member of the diversity committee of the ABA tax section. So it was a very strenuous application process, which out of which many lawyers apply in the US, and I was among the very few people selected. I think what was unique in this particular situation is that I got to be a part of subcommittees, publication committees, and research committees, which actually make suggestions to the government in this particular context.
So let's go to your role of being a columnist. So, how did this journey as a writer start?
Uh, it's a long story, but so I actually have to thank a couple of people for that. One of my very close friends and colleagues, Rohit Arora, he actually has played a very influential role in my life, where we have been colleagues and friends for the last couple of years, and we kind of started our journey together in tax. And seeing my passion for tax and seeing my passion for writing, he kind of introduced me to the right set of people, where I have actually given my quotes and opinions various newspapers like Times of India, Financial Express, Business Standard. So whenever there is any upcoming issue in tax, or if there's a union budget, they keep on reaching out to me, and I keep on giving my opinions on any tax issues.
Wow. So let's go to your next, what do you say, your profile, your journey besides being a columnist, a lawyer, being a speaker. So, how did this journey being a speaker, and what preparation do you make when you are being invited to be a speaker?
Um, that's a very good question. Honestly, I think my answer for that would be honest. Be honest in your work. Be honest in the approach which you have towards your profession. And for me, when I started out in my tax profession, in fact, even when I started out in the litigation profession as well, I made sure I was preparing for all the exams properly. I was preparing for all the work which I was doing properly. And apart from that, being up to date with the tax laws, that is very important, because if you are not up to date with the tax laws, you cannot give opinions on very complex matters.
Yeah, very true. So let's go to the next question. What role does cultural diversity play in your collaborative efforts within international tax teams?
So I've actually been quite fortunate because I've got to work with different kinds of people throughout my career. So when I was in India, so I originally belonged from Hyderabad, but I worked in Delhi. I did my law school in Punjab, and then I have done completed my master's LLM in the University of Florida, and I have worked in New York. Now I'm working in the Cayman Islands. I think the great thing about it is that I work with diverse kind of people with respect to profession. I worked with lawyers, I worked with accountants, I worked with people from India, Asia, Europe, Americas, and I think what that is really plays a great role is that you have diversity of opinions. You might have conflicting opinions on certain things, but I think that actually makes collaboration very smooth and very interesting in my experience.
Wow. So now, that was on diversity. Let's go to your multilingual skills. How has it helped you in a professional setting in your career, Aditya?
Uh, so I actually know about 3 to 4 languages. I wouldn't really count French because I did learn French during law school, but I can't really say I remember the language right now. I know Hindi, English, Telugu very fluently, and I've actually lived most of my life in North India, half my life I would say, and that really plays a huge impact because when you're working in different environments, when you're interacting with different people across India, across the globe, if you know different languages, you can relate to people, you can understand the culture better, and it really makes you feel special in life.
Wow. Okay. So, Aditya, what's your process for staying updated on evolving global tax policies, especially in relation to global tax initiatives such as BEPS, Pillar 1 and 2, and other things?
So, base erosion profit shifting, pillar 1 and pillar 2, has been a very important and influential change over the last 5 to 6 years. So, the reason, for example, which BEPS came into place was to escape, make sure that the tax avoidance and tax evasion, which was happening across the world, where a lot of multinational companies are actually avoiding and evading taxes, to save from that. That is the reason the initiatives came into place. So, to stay up to date on these kind of issues, there are many forums like IBFD, Tax Foundation, and research platforms like NIPFP, which I actually worked at. So they engage in cutting edge tax research across the globe. And if you are very interested in such issues, if you manage to read up to date articles, if you manage to write some articles yourself, I think that is one way to kind of stay up to date.
Hmm. So, Aditya, who has influenced you or impacted you from the legal world?
Uh, so there are a lot of people who have played a huge role in my life. I would like to name two people who played a huge role in my life. One is Varun Chablani. He's a very close friend and colleague of mine. He's also in the tax space. In fact, I believe he was interviewed by this forum, I think 2 3 weeks ago. And one other person is Ben. He's my friend from the other part of the globe. He's my friend from the US. And so these two people, I have not known them very long, but they're my closest friends, colleagues, and confidants in the tax space. Any kind of questions I have, any kind of inspiration I need, these are the people I go to.
Wow. Okay. My last two questions. How has technology helped you in your work?
In fact, I have to say that at my current job, especially where I'm working with PwC, technology plays a huge part. In fact, as we spoke about BEPS Pillar 2 earlier, Pillar 2 is a basically talks about global minimum tax, where all the multinational companies across the world, no matter where they're situated, they have to end up paying 15% minimum tax, and that is the reason it's called global minimum tax. So, because the way the calculations are calculated by the companies, it is really important that you need to have some specific tools. So in this particular situation, PwC, for example, has a proprietary Pillar 2 tool, due to which the calculations are made very simple and effective. So I would say my experience in kind of engaging with such tools has made life very simpler with, especially calculating taxes.
Wow. Okay. So my last question, Aditya, what advice would you give to aspiring tax lawyers about navigating a career in global tax compliance and advisory?
I think my advice is to put yourself out there, network with people, and in fact, when I started my journey so I started my litigation journey actually much long ago, 7 to 8 years ago. I started my tax journey about 5 years ago. I think one of the major roles, you could say, I kind of had to go through was to put myself out there, network with people, talk to people, and learn about what journeys people are going through. I think that is the most important advice I can give to people.
Wow. Okay. Now let's go to the next round, friends, and understand Aditya as a person. Uh, so, Aditya, tell us about your family and your formative years.
So I was born and raised in Hyderabad. I spent my formative years over there. I went to the Hyderabad Public School, which is one of the most famous schools in Hyderabad, and then I went to law school in Punjab. So I have a mother and a father. I'm a single child, and being a single child has its own advantages and disadvantages. And I think being in different places across my life, different cities, kind of taught me the importance of collaborating with different people. So when you are in different places, you kind of adapt in a lot of ways. So I would say whatever kind of credit I've gotten in my career so far is due to adaptability.
Wow. So, let's go to your college days at Rajiv Gandhi National Law University. What are your memories, experience from there?
I think my experiences at RGNL were amazing, in the sense that when you are fresh out of plus two, uh, you kind of think that, hey, I want to end up doing either medicine or law or something like that. So I was actually very clueless. So at that point, and I ended up giving the CLAT exam, and I got admission into the university. And my experiences over there were fantastic, because I got to participate in moot court competitions. I got to study some amazing subjects like tax law, which were taught by some amazing professors. And most importantly, the connections and the friendships which I have made. In fact, I am in touch with a lot of people still from my years in RJNUL, where everyone till now, we have played an influential role in each other's life.
Wow. So, Aditya, why did you select to go to University of Florida, and what are your memories from there?
Uh, that's an amazing question, honestly. And I think my year at University of Florida in 2022, I could say it's probably the most important event in my life, because it has shaped the way I have in, impacted my career from there on. Because without having the degree from the University of Florida, I would not be in the position that I am today. We had some really amazing professors by the name of Professor Shalin Luke, Professor Mindy Hersfeld, who are actually very stalwarts in the tax
Mhm.
profession in the US, and they have written so many books. I was fortunate enough to be taught by them, and in fact, collaborating, like I mentioned, with different kinds of people. Like we had people from across the globe in our tax program. and we had people from the US. So when you have different minds, when you have different kinds of people collaborating with each other, I think it can only be very beneficial.
Wow. So, Aditya, after a long day at work, how do you unwind?
So currently, because I'm living in the Cayman Islands, so what I really like doing is I like to scuba dive.
Hmm.
Scuba diving and snorkeling are actually Cayman Islands is known for scuba diving and snorkeling. It's one of the best vacation spots for that, and I do that a lot. I'm a huge foodie, so Cayman is also known for jerk chicken, shrimp, prawns, and all the kinds of seafood. So I love exploring different kinds of foods, different kinds of sea activities. So that's how I spend most of my time.
Okay, that's interesting. Okay. So, Aditya, you have lived in different cities in your career. So, which city is very close to your heart and why?
That's a tough question, but I think it's a very straightforward answer for me. It's New York City, because I've always, as a lawyer, I wanted to work in New York City. So this kind of goes back to when I actually went to law school. There was this TV show, if you might remember, called Suits.
Hmm.
So I actually ended up watching Suits when I was in law school, and like every other law student, I was inspired by it. And I was like, hey, I want to be this lawyer working in New York City in this fancy high-rise buildings and working all these complex tax and law cases. And for me to actually end up living that dream, working in New York City and working with such fantastic people from across the globe, so that has, so no, I would no doubt, without a doubt, say that New York City is the favorite city.
Wow. Okay. What's one thing your colleagues don't know about you but would find interesting?
Um, I think it's that I'm a little bit stubborn. A lot of people do not know that I'm stubborn. I might, especially in work, I might come off as pretty agreeable, and I like to keep things very stress free. But sometimes in my personal life, I can be a little bit stubborn. So for people who know me, but do not know this, it might come off a bit weird, but I think they eventually get used to it.
Wow. So, Aditya, how do you balance maintaining connections with family and friends while working abroad? Because uh, they're into different time zones.
Uh, it's actually a difficult job, if I'm being honest, because I have been outside of India for the last 3.5 years now,
Mm.
and it can actually take a toll when you're navigating different time zones. So a lot of times, your work pressure is too much, where you're working 80 to 100 hours a week. So you might not end up keeping in touch with people as much as you want to. So that is the reason I make trips like these to India. And there have been so many times where I've just traveled to India to attend weddings, just meet friends, and I think it's really important to keep in touch with your roots, stay in
Yeah.
touch with people who have supported you all throughout your life, and that is what I do.
Wow. So, how is living in different cultural settings influence your hobbies or lifestyle, Aditya?
So like I mentioned, I think scuba diving and snorkeling is something which I've picked upon it a little bit since I've moved to the Cayman Islands. And whenever I go to a new city, I try to pick up something which is local to that place. Like, for example, in New York City, kayaking is really famous.
Mhm.
So I used to kayak quite a bit in New York City. And in Hyderabad, Hyderabad is known for its food. Since I was born there, every person that comes to Hyderabad, I make it a point to make sure that they visit all the best biryani places in the city. So that's what I, kind of try to do.
Okay. Uh, I'm just trying to see a lot of interesting questions we have covered. Uh, so, from your bucket list, anything has means pending from your bucket list for 2024,
Um,
which
I
can
think
go to 2025.
I think it's probably going to sound like a very boring answer, but since I was not very career oriented in the first like few years of law school, I actually was a very late bloomer in the sense that I was just not concentrating on my classes or anything in law school. I became very career oriented later on. So I think I want to spend the next 5 to 10 years, especially, really building my career, growing my connections, and I would also love to help out people So what I do in some of my free time, whenever I get time, is to like also help out people who are in the profession. In fact, a lot of people keep reaching out to me over LinkedIn, and I personally have mentored so many people, and I've given them ideas as to how they might actually develop a career. Be it tax law, be it any other field of law. I think what's really important is that you have to put your whole mind, focus, and energy on it. In fact, I would love to speak about Ikigai law. It's called the theory of three Venn diagrams. So please correct me if I'm wrong, but what it essentially says is that you have to be really good at what you're doing. The second point is you have to like what you're doing. And the third point is you have to make the maximum amount of money doing it. So if you have like a sweet intersection of these 3 points, you can actually attain the best pinnacle of that profession.
Wow, beautiful. So, who has been your biggest supporter from your family and friends?
I think it's my mom, to be honest. My mom is in my family. My mom has been my biggest supporter. In fact, she was the one who encouraged me to end up pursuing law, and I have to credit my mom for that. And she's been a constant source of support. In my professional connections, I think it is Varun Chablani, who's been a great source of support. We have been in. I have. He's actually not my oldest friend. I have much more older friends who I've known for the last 10 or 12 years. But Varun, we constantly speak for the last 3 or 4 years, and any kind of advice I need, any kind of questions I have, I always go to him.
So, for your other friends, please give out one message. Otherwise, they will feel okay, you're ignoring them.
No, I think firstly, I have to really thank you that I really got this opportunity to kind of share my views and thoughts, and I really thank you for this opportunity. And it's a pleasure to actually meet with you over here. And I think what you're doing is a really fantastic job of interviewing people across the legal industry. And my message to my friends is that I'm always there for you, and people have, especially who've supported me throughout my life and career. I'm there for them. I'm there for all the students, law students who are just in their careers right now. If you ever need any help for anything, like personal, professional, or anything, I'm always there to support you as a mentor.
Wow, that's beautiful. So, I just wanted to make one correction. We are not doing only lawyer. We have got around 8 series under the Coffee Corner show. This one is the lawyer. So just one for our viewers out there, whoever wants to be featured. So we have got the lawyer, the emerging cybersec professional, the emerging entrepreneur, the emerging professional, the startup, then Sri Shakti, student. We have got special episodes. We are now started with panel discussion. We have got mini coffee also, where on subject topic for 15 minutes we are doing so. During in this 4 years, we have crossed over 300 plus episodes, but there are other things. So I don't know how many shoots or videos are out there on our YouTube channel. So just wanted to, because uh, speakers get confused when they're invited for one series. They think only one series is happening, but no, we have in this 4 years built up, and we have divided. During my journey, I just wanted to, for our viewers also out there and people out there, we started initially with the coffee conversation, and later on, then we came up with the series thing. So viewers and the speakers can also identify with the series and accordingly, but the format is the same, the conversation format. Only thing we keep adding interesting bits, like this thing will come up. So in person we came up. So we keep on evolving, and we keep taking suggestions from our coffee speakers and our mentors and other people, and adding elements. So so we don't. One of my coffee speakers said one thing, Aditya, for you also and for everyone.
Yeah.
He said, I don't want to get stagnated in my life. I want, I keep evolving. So he's going to London to become a solicitor.
Wow.
So that inspired me. I should also do something in 2025 for my professional, personal, and for just being coffee.
I think you should change the name to Coffee with Leon, like Coffee with Karan.
Can't. That's beyond. Okay. So my last question. This will be a googly one. Describe Aditya in one line.
Um, Describe Aditya in one line. So I would say I'm entrepreneurial.
Wow. So we go to the next round and have some fun. The rapid fire round. Uh, one word that describes your work ethic.
Hardworking.
Wow. Okay. Favorite food to eat after a big project is completed.
Biryani. Hyderabad biryani.
But Cayman Islands has.
Unfortunately,
So you are in Cayman Islands at that time. Okay, I'm coming to a question. So your place, recommended place to have biryani in Hyderabad.
tough question. I would go with Bawarchi.
Wow. Uh, Favorite place to visit in New York.
Manhattan.
Wow. The first word that comes to your mind when you think of tax.
Nani Palkiwala.
Wow.
Person, but yeah.
Okay, anything. A skill you wish you had mastered earlier.
Networking.
Wow. One thing you miss about India.
The food.
Tea or coffee?
Coffee I need.
Okay. Your favorite color?
Red.
Wow. So you did very well, and you get to win this book.
Thank you so much.
One moment. This autograph. So, friends, it was a lovely conversation with Aditya, international a tax associate, lawyer, multiple hats he's wearing, columnist, a speaker, and a biryani fan. I am too also a biryani fan, by the way. Now, veg biryani, chicken biryani, egg biryani, so many variations of biryani has. So that is another conversation we should have with you.
Absolutely.
So just wanted to share. One of the speakers shared about being a coffee connoisseur, and we had a special episode with Drishti. So we keep, what do you say, adding elements and having fun with our coffee speakers. So on this biryani topic, we would love to have this conversation. So we'll have to do a lot of research work. So be for Jan 2025. So friends out there who want to be a tax lawyer and go global, this is the episode to watch for. Subscribe to our Coffee Conversation show on YouTube, which has over 300 plus episodes. You will get to listen to different subject experts and speakers, get inspired by them and their journey, how they have evolved in their journey, and have those memories which are lifetime through this coffee conversation, which adds that USP. If you want to be featured like Aditya as a guest coffee speaker, which he got invited through Varun, but there are other ways. You can visit our social media handles, the Emerging India Forum, our website, theemergingindiaforum.com. Fill in the form, our team will connect with you, and we would invite you to have coffee over coffee conversation. So thank you. We meet with another coffee speaker and continue our conversations. Take care. Bye.